see her level damage. Search. Oh,
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another quick. Wow.
Vortex kick.
Vortex kick. Bart's
And
down.
killing that Bart.
Gotta be game.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that's game.
Alright, welcome everyone to WBEL Season 2. So this is the round number 2 for the playoffs for the Enthusiast division. Not as usual, I'm going to replace Machen this week, but as usual, it's going to be shotcasted with the Chisei.
Hey there again. Back again from the blind division.
Yeah, maybe for you there's been maybe a day or hours, but for us we just did the blind division one. So I hope that you liked it and that you didn't skip it. If you did, go watch it.
Yeah, they're worth the watch. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, very worth. So we're going to have two series are going to be covered today. So first one we're going to have Surftaco against KoushouHaou, and the next one is going to be Kellz against Ram9.
Yeah, these are some exciting matches. All four of these players are insanely good players, so yeah. I don't think that we're gonna have. I wouldn't predict very one-sided matches on either of these.
All right, then let's check that out. Alright, so series number 1, we got KoushouHaou against Surftaco. So on Koushou's side, we got Surgis, Lucio, and Marielle. On Surftaco's side, we got Jaden, Etre, and Glaciella. So let's check that out.
All right, getting into this match. Let's see. So first up here, we have Surftaco with the Spear team coming out, which honestly makes a whole lot of sense going up. Makes a lot of sense going up against KoushouHaou's side, because not only does the Ice Jaden have the 10,000 health physical barrier, which is going to mitigate a lot of Lucio's damage, but also Spear has the light resistance VC, so that's also going to mitigate a lot of the damage. So if I'm assuming Surftaco's probably using that, and that's probably the reason for the team that he brought. I just know that it does not seem like KoushouHaou's side's going to be able to deal a lot of damage, but I've been surprised by KoushouHaou's side's damage more times than I can count. So, especially against the last fight he had versus Isfar, which also was a Spear team. So, there is a chance, but there is the light resistance buff coming out from Etra, which, man, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, so good first attack coming from Jaden. That Surgis, and even that Glaciella was able to kill that Surgis. From the look of the first TMR that was used by Surgis, the Sonic Protection, I think that he did not expect the first team from Surftaco. Alright, so Marielle going next after a very the first attack that was very low coming from Lucio. So Marielle doing not much damage either. Trish, she's far in the back going forward. She's casting something, I don't know what it is. So Light Veil, okay, so reapplying the resist buff. Next we got Impaling Wave, doing not much on that Marielle. The L-back did the same level damage, and the L-back was a 4k2. So Terra Slash doing very low on that Marielle. It looked very badly for KoushouHaou at first, but now I'm curious. So yeah, alright, let's check that out. So Marielle thinking very hard, level 4 Banishga, doing not a lot on everyone, so a very low damage so far. Lucio going next. Blade of Luminosity evaded by the Etre, doing not a lot on that Glaciella. Next we got Etre, she going to go for the Marielle, yes, on the basic attack. That's curious, alright. So next we got Jaden, only 8 AP. And only a 5k of health remaining, so another basic attack coming from Glaciella on that Marielle. Okay, so that Marielle, if he wins, it's she's the key of the match. So now we got the Summer VC, that the skill that did a ton on both units. Alright, so KoushouHaou is Lucio, one-shotting that Etre, so she's going to skip her turn since she's dead. Next we got Marielle. She's a arithmetician, so thinking very hard before every attack, doing very low damage on that Glaciella. Next we got so a ton coming from that Jaden or that Marielle, and probably so Glaciella able to finish her up, but Lucio is in full health. He doesn't have a lot of AP though, but I could see this fight going to turn. Alright. Some heal back from his attack, so it was really big. So we got the Esper Invocation. Okay, so he used the last one with the Silence Resist on it. Probably for the AoE Imperial. it's a nice tech. Oh, and Frostbite, that's going to be big for the rest of the fight.
That's going to be massive.
What I could see is that he could kill... Yeah, he could kill them with basic attacks since they were very low.
Yeah.
Okay, it looked very grim for KoushouHaou, but the fact that he was able to win that fight anyway, just because of that Marielle, yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, she gets a chain with herself, and she has AP Restore. Well, I'm not counting Surftaco out just yet, because she also has the physical shield. We'll see how much damage his auto attack does, but she shouldn't have the she shouldn't have the light resistance buff.
And she has the courage because of her LB, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's the other glassy, not that one.
Oh okay, never mind. You're right. My bad.
So I think that it's going to end there.
Yep, and the Esper pretty much all but just like you said before, it all but signifies kind of the end of this match here.
Despite how it looked, it was a very, very, very tight match. Because at the end, there was the lapping coming from Glaciella. With the Frostbite, we had some concern, but no, I think that the Lucio was in control. Very tight match, very nice to see. A pretty exciting one.
Yeah, very, very exciting from my standpoint, because it looks like Surftaco was incredibly ready for this team, was very much expecting this team. Everything seemed pretty much poised to beat this team. Had the physical barrier, had the light veil from the Etra, probably had the light resistance VC on, probably had some light resistance gear, if I'm guessing as well. That being said, I know that Etra going in and reapplying the light veil buff mid-match because Lucio has the Dispel on his attack. I thought as long as she kept on applying that light veil, that Surftaco's team was not going to take any damage. So, and with her evading the attacks as well, I thought it was kind of over. I thought she was going to survive forever, apply Light Veil forever, and then just Surftaco seemed going to be undefeated. Very interesting first match. It was really cool to watch, to see. I was trying to go the whole match without saying this is my favorite team, but I can't do it. The new Lucio along with Marielle is one of my favorite pairings in this format. So being able to see it shine despite all of the elemental resistance was really, really exciting for me to watch.
So you heard it. Chisei is rooting for KoushouHaou.
I always got to root for the underdog a little bit, and if they're using my favorite team, I mean, it makes it a little hard. But I'm mostly just here for good fights, so I'm excited to see Surftaco retaliate with a very strong second match, as I've seen in many, many tournaments before.
And we kind of forget it for a second, but this is his first loss of the entire tournament.
That's true. That's wild.
So yeah, even if you lose the remaining 2 matches, KoushouHaou, at this point you can be really proud.
Absolutely.
All right, let's check that out. All right, so fight number 2 between KoushouHaou and Surftaco. So on the KoushouHaou's side, we got a switch up, so Surgist, Summer Glaciella, and Astrius. On Surftaco's side, we got the exact same team. There's some mind games in there. That's surprising.
Yeah, it's not very often you see the winning team swap up and then the losing team stick with the same side. But yeah. I think that Surftaco feels like he could just make some adjustments and still beat the team. Because it was very close, even though Lucio was half health, he had 0 AP, so he was relegated to auto attacks. So that being said,
yes, true. Going forward with a single buff and going forward, so this is a very aggressive strategy coming from KoushouHaou.
Yeah, very, very, very aggressive. And bringing the Summer Glaciella against, a potential Ice Jaden, or also against a potential Dario Dea seems very strange to see. But maybe she has plenty of like water resistance or ice resistance that she can tank this team. I'm interested in seeing how well she can tank up on this side. Astrius can be in range to deal the first damage of the fight. And having his guaranteed hit against the evasive Etra is definitely a huge help.
Yeah, and I think that Surftaco predicted the switch up because he used the Oceanic protection coming from H-Ray, and it allowed her to sustain the first hit from Astrius. Alright, so Glaciella be able to finish the job. So stunning straws. So we got a stun coming from Glaciella on the other Glaciella, but in the swimsuit. Alright, so Surgist going forward, leaping assault, not doing a lot on that Glaciella, about 600. Next, we got Astrius, only 50 AP though. He now use half of it to use his LB, so release the void on Glaciella. Let's see the extent of damage. So less than 3k, about a 4k with the follow-up, but that's expected because Glaciella is really great against slash damage. Alright, so next we got Jaden. He has an AP recovery, so he has a lot, still 100 and AP recovery buff. So next we got Glaciella going next, 36 AP, Sunfire Burst, doing a ton on that Glaciella, but not much on that Astrius, so 6k on Glaciella. Next we're going to have Astrius, 27 AP. All okay, surprisingly go only for the Glaciella, nearly killing her, but the counter trust nearly killed the Glaciella, but she had her courage. Alright, so next we got Surgist. On a basic attack, able to kill that Glaciella, perfect. So now Glaciella will have another turn, the last turn on that Jaden. Okay, so only 500 and that shield is not going to save her.
Yeah.
Alright.
Even if it was a magical shield, that wouldn't save her.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so... Oh, and the Jaden be able to kill both the Surgist and the Glaciella, so Astrius going next. Only 9 AP though. Nope, I must say that it's not looking good, and this 8 down is not going to help him a lot.
Nope, unfortunately not. He did use his buff to get his courage though. Yeah, so he still has his courage. So he has to one-shot here to really have a chance.
Yeah.
And potentially, maybe if he doesn't move, he might get a chance to lap, but I doubt that. Does a lot of damage and the poison, but not a one-shot. And unless he laps, which he does not, yeah, looks like this is over, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like if he had enough AP, he would have been able to win that match, but since they begin right in front of each other, didn't have time to apply a lot of buffs. Yeah, it was a very close one in the end, but yeah, I think that on Koushou's side, it was a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, like you mentioned in the very beginning of the fight, he didn't have his AoE buff turned on. He only had his single target buff and ran straight forward, so he wasn't able to generate as much AP as normal if he was able to get another buff online, which could have, like you said, been could have cost the whole fight. And the last TMR he had online was the AP consumption down Ashen Seal buff, which also could have helped him a lot if he was able to get that online as well. So either one of those two buffs would have helped out a lot, but unfortunately, yeah, he did run out of AP at the end. That being said, another very close fight. Just like I said at the end of the last round, I didn't expect Surftaco to go down in a 2-0. You know, I knew that he'd have something up his sleeve. And also, like you called in the beginning that I missed, he did use the Oceanic Protection buff instead of anything else. So I think he was prepared for the swap up. And if I remember correctly, that's exactly what KoushouHaou did in his fight against Isfar, was that he won with his light team and then swapped to his water team. So maybe Surftaco studying the last video and expecting the same thing to happen in this fight. Either way, it worked out very well for him, and congrats to that win for sure.
Alright, let's check out the next fight. Alright, so match number 3 between KoushouHaou and Surftaco. So on Koushou's side, we got the Surgist, Lucio, and Marielle. On the Surftaco's side, we got H-Ray, Tifa, and 2P. I may be mistaken, but I think that it's the first time that he's using both Tifa and 2P, so it's going to be very exciting. And we got a full evasion fist team this time.
Yeah. That's actually something I'm a little concerned about from KoushouHaou's side. And they're starting across from each other once again. All 3 fights, they've started right across from each other. I don't know if that was what they wanted or what was planned, but it's what's happening. I'm a little worried on KoushouHaou's side because I know in the first fight with Etra that he was actually getting some dodges in there. Unless KoushouHaou built some more accuracy in between the first fight with this team and this one, I'm expecting the Surftaco's side to be very evasive. I mean, that's kind of 2P's whole thing, is being able to, you know, especially since the CT is disabled on this map, CT up effects, her main thing is being able to jump in, dodge some attacks, and then counter. And then there's the agility luck buff, so it's definitely going to be a very, very evasive team. And I'm concerned about KoushouHaou's chances to hit, but I'll have to see when the fight starts, which is... What?
Okay.
What?
I think that KoushouHaou noticed that he was missing the H-Ray at first, and I think that he pumped up the luck on his side too. So they may be very accurate. But the fact that she used that disable is kind of concerning though. Yeah. So let's check that out. Alright, so H-Ray, Fist of Frenzying, missing that Marielle again. Okay, that fight is going to be entertaining for sure. So next you get no, Surges I think he's only going to be a decoy for the rest of the match. So focus strike 6k on that Marielle, got a first hit on her, and now we get a phasal smash, so able to hit them both. Marielle is down already. Next is going to be Lucio, so the moment of truth. Okay, it's really not looking good.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
So H-Ray being able to kill at Surges. I must say, at the beginning, the opening coming from Surftaco, very impressive. That was really tightly done. Alright, sleep coming from 2P, so not a lot on that Lucio at least. So Trizon reapplying the lock buff from the lock TMR coming from H-Ray on the Tifa. Alright, so Lucio again, this time. Blade of Luminosity, yeah, missing them both. Alright, so that was a big brain play coming from Surftaco. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that KoushouHaou saw it coming.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, maybe he did. It's hard to really prepare for every single thing on Surftaco's roster. It's so diverse that, yeah, I'm trying to fit a bunch of accuracy in there too. Also, I could see not... He'd pretty much have to sacrifice a lot of his chances against the other compositions that Surftaco has.
Yeah, unfortunately there's not a lot to talk about because it was pretty one-sided, and the obvious key of the match was the lock nods on Surftaco's side. Honestly, a massive play coming from Surftaco. Like I said, I mean, he didn't use this team for the whole season, and now he's bringing it on a case where he has lost the first match. That was surprising and a very big play coming from him.
Oh, absolutely. I think the only chance that KoushouHaou had, as he pointed out before, with Marielle dodging the first couple hits, KoushouHaou might have been going for evasion on his side as well. So he might have had a bunch of evasion and luck built up on his side. But I think that one of the main things with evasion teams is making sure that you have a strong evasion buff in the beginning, because that really helps in your chances for evasion. And so having the lock TMR go online, I think the only chance that KoushouHaou had in that fight was that if he also was building for evasion or having tons of luck on his side, and that buff wore off. And so that's why you might have seen me like cringe a little bit during the fight when I saw that Etra reapplied the Treasure Hunter Fortune, because I was like, okay, it's definitely over from that point on. I was like, because if it wore off and Lucio had a chance to hit, then there might have been something, because he can put out some good damage, as we've seen. I wouldn't put it past him to be able to one-shot these units, but yeah, no, it was not happening once that buff got reapplied. It was definitely over. I echo what Numero said. It was a very smart choice coming out from Surftaco. It worked out very, very well in his favor, and like I said, it also just goes to show how well he chose his roster, because having three very diverse threats in terms of evasion, in terms of like magic katana team, and then the spear team as well, you can't really prepare for all three, so you really have to try and mind game it out.
Yeah, and Chisei, sorry to see your team lose again in playoffs.
It's okay. It made it further than my version of the team, so hats off to KoushouHaou for taking it this far. Like I said, there's, like Numero said last round, there's no shame in losing to Surftaco. Went completely undefeated, and you were the first person to be able to take a game off of him, so that's a huge achievement. It was a really fun series to watch.
Yeah, thank you for participating, KoushouHaou. It was fun having you this season. It was fun talking to you, and you were always very active in the Discord. I hope that you won't fade away, and that you'll stick around, and that you'll be able to help the other players, or only give you a grain of salt. It's always appreciated.
Absolutely.
All right, so GG to both players, and congratulations to Surftaco.
Yep, congrats to Surftaco for the win.
Alright, so series number 2, we got Ram9 against Kellz. On Ram9's side, we got Kelfe, Veritas of the Water, and Surges. On Kellz's side, we got Black Robe Elena, another Kelfe, and we got Valete. So this is the Battle of the Devouts.
Absolutely, and I'm all here for it. I love Devout teams. I love getting to watch them play, and they've both been very, very strong throughout the course of this season. So getting to see them go head-to-head is like a clash of the titans here. Oh. Right now, I will say, even though Black Robe Helena, amazing unit, I've used her to great success, Kellz used her to great success, going up against the brand new Veritas of the Waters, which brand new units have that certain sort of spice to them. So And I know that her buffs that she can give are absolutely insane. So we'll have to see if Black Robe Helena's raw damage potential can outdo the versatility and buffs that Water Veritas can give. Valade using a buff that I don't know if I've really ever seen before. I don't even know what that is, but it gave man resistance, which is pretty cool. I don't.
And magic up.
Yeah, I need to look into what that is. I feel like I would have seen that more often, but I guess not. But that is a really nice buff to be able to give some additional damage. I think that's the main thing for Kellz' side, is being able to just deal a ton of damage. The damage needs to be on point from Kellz' side, because if the damage is not there, I think the versatility and healing over from Ram 9's side is going to run away with it. With Black Robe Helena not being in range there, I was a little surprised. So it looked like the first hit's going to come out from Ram 9 here.
Yeah, I wonder if that Black Robe Helena would live a turn. Let's see if she's going to see. Okay, so 5k, so she'll survive at least one round of damage. Okay, maybe not one round because the Veritas of the Water is going next, but at least she survived one hit, and she doesn't have courage. Alright, let's check that out. Oh, and going for the whole party! Yeah, I did not saw that angle.
I didn't either, honestly.
And just able to kill that Black Robe Helena, and I really hope that this buff is amazing, because now that Kelvin needs to put up a lot of damage, so let's check that out.
Yeah, maybe there's a
Oh, 9k, but only on the surges though. And now we got the opposing Kelfe. So let's check that out. The Energy Blaster, and also doing 10k. I think that the matchup wasn't too favorable to Kellz, and yeah, even the timing, placement, great prep coming from Ram 9. And now this slow on both units.
If it wasn't enough already. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think it might have been a slightly different story if the Black Robe Helena was able to, use her damage, to be able to see how much damage she was able to get out, because the Killfay was able to get out 9,000. I can only imagine the Black Robe Helena would be able to deal even more. But unfortunately, like you said, the placement just meant that she died right away.
The thing is that Valade can be extremely crippling for the enemy team, especially in this meta where it's really it's the cold triangle all the way. But for this fight, unfortunately, Valade was the odd man. He had absolutely no purpose, no utility, and I think that Kellz would have had the chance if he would have used maybe a decoy unit or something to tank, Marielle or anything. I don't remember the solo roster, but yeah, unfortunately I think that it's only because on Ram 9's side all his units were more suited to take on the Kellz' team.
Yep, and just like you said, the different unit, I mean, there were two different units, but Black Robe Helena or Veritas of the Waters are kind of fulfilling the same role there. But the Valade versus the Surges being able to tank that hit from the Killfay, and the Black Robe Helena not being in range, it meant that the damage was not going to the main damage dealers. I completely agree with you there that the Valade, if he was able to get off a full life or maybe a more impactful heal, that might be a different story, but unfortunately the only thing I can remember him doing aside from the initial buffs was the 4k heal on Killfay, which wasn't going to help much at that stage of the fight. I agree with you that the Surges definitely had a much more of an impact.
Alright, GG to both players, and congratulations to Ram 9.
Yep, congrats for the first one, Ram 9.
Alright, so match number 2 between Ram 9 and Kellz. On Ram 9's side, we got the same unit, so he's sticking with his guns. On Kellz' side, very interesting, he decided to go for the spear route with a Devout, so we got Glaciella, Galzac, and surprisingly, the Valade again. So I think that he maybe expected the A2 switch.
Yeah, I mean, even if the A2 switch didn't happen, I think Valade is just such a key part of that matchup that you can't risk not bringing him almost. And it's not like he's completely useless in this fight. He's still going to have some use, it's just not going to be nearly as impactful it would be as in an A2 fight. That being said, I do like the swap up over here. The double, like I said, unfortunately the Devout team did not work out too well for him, so I like swapping it up to the spear angle. And funny enough, the Gurn spec, I don't think we have seen at all since week 1, where he beat KoushouHaou, and I think he paired him up with Ice Jaden then. So this is a team I don't think that has ever been seen from Kellz' side, and so I'm really interested in seeing how it goes. Unfortunately, once again, the protect and ice resistance and all the other stuff that Valade usually brings to a fight is not going to be too impactful here. It's going to help against the Surgist, but the Surgist isn't really the ones to be scared about over on Ram 9's side. And Ram 9's side is just getting every buff off imaginable that you could possibly want. But that being said, also the same over here on Kellz' side, but a lot of the buffs, like I saw Protect coming from Valade, and then Greenspec just use another buff that's Protect, and then Glacial use another buff that's Protect. None of those are really going to help against these magic dealers. I'm a little afraid of the damage that's going to be able to be dealt. There's the Dragon's Bloodline buff, so mitigating any sort of stop, berserk shenanigans that might happen. I didn't see anything come out from Ram 9's side that would have any of that happen, so I'm not sure if his team has the ability to apply those last effects, but either way, always good to have some mitigation there. Full side, the fight should be underway starting here. Yeah, she should definitely be in range at
Finally.
this turn. Yep. Oh, is that all three? I couldn't tell.
No,
that was
only
all
the...
three.
Yeah, even the Valade?
Oh no, just okay. Not the Glaciella, but good damage. Wow.
Yeah, good damage. It's not reassuring for Galzak. Alright, so we got Galzak jumping into the air. What's the tick? Oh, okay, so he's going to be in the air for a long time. Stunning Strass. So we got only a stun on that Surges. Oh, can be big. Alright, so next we got Kelfe. Who is she going to go against? So for the Glaciella, so Stave Collector. Doing about half health of Glaciella. So next we got Valade, probably doing an healing. Next we're going to have the... Okay, so only 3k. And Dragon Dive doing about 7k on that Veritas of the Water. Unfortunately, not enough to kill her, so she still has 3k of HP. And next is going to be Galzak, but he has to survive that hit, unfortunately. And I don't think that he has courage on this kit. Alright, so we got Chanting, but no casting time and just enough to kill both of them. Alright, so next we got Surgist. So Vacuum Slash doing only 2k on that Glaciella, but I think that the climb is too much, unfortunately. Going for the Veritas of the Water, probably enough to kill her. So let's check that out. So re-raise, remove, physical shield, and AP restores. Alright, so Earth Staff doing only 3k on that Glaciella, but she was already so low. And next we got Surges. Dragon Bloodline, so he didn't add any room to hit her. Alright, so next we got Glaciella. Maybe a Stunning Trust. No, Terra Slash going for the strike. Probably because of the Surges. I think that he has like minus 30 striking resistance. Alright, so Earth Staff again, so another 3k. A little bit of L back. We got Surges next, but now he has room to hit her. Vacuum Slash again, only 1k. She's surviving. Counter Sting. Alright, so killing the Surges. That's already that. I really don't know how he could win this game, unfortunately, with the remaining HP. Maybe with a miss, but it's very unlikely. So only a basic attack, 2k, and killing the Glaciella. Yeah, sorry Kellz, there's absolutely no shame to lose against Ram 9. I mean, the guy is currently ranked #1 in the world. He has appeared in the world stage very, very far. I mean, it's one of the greatest players of this game. So yeah, there's no shame losing in round 2 against Ram 9.
Oh yeah, definitely not. And like I said, this team that Ram 9 has is incredibly strong. As you mentioned there at the very end, with the HP remaining, not only did Killface still have plenty of HP, but she still had a courage. She still had a lot of effective HP left. She probably had like 3 or 4 turns left in her. I do like that. I think the swap up was a really smart choice, especially seeing that the first one didn't go particularly to plan. And I don't think even if the Black Robed Helena was able to attack, that it would have really substantially changed the outcome of that match. So I think the swap up was very, very well done. And with the threat of the A2 always looming there, and that's one of the issues with having A2 on the enemy's roster, is that you always have to be prepared for her. You only have to commit so many resources to making sure that you don't instantly lose to her, that kind of preparing your teams for anything else is a bit difficult. So I think your team had probably a pretty solid chance, even though A2 does have pierce resistance. But I think your team did have a solid chance against A2 with all of the protect, with the Valade, all that stuff. But once again, against a full Magic team, The Protect unfortunately wasn't able to help much, and a lot of Vlade's buffs were also not put to their use. I think it was a very strong team and very good effort. I just think that Ram 9 side was really hard to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, you have to win the mind games against Ram 9 and with a very unfavorable matchup. Unfortunately, yeah, for him, I mean, he switched for the Spear team, but like you said, if it was A2, even with the Valade, A2 is really great with our card to tank spear damage, so it would have been tough anyway, but I like the switch up. I think it was a really great one to beat that team, but for the same reason that we saw in the first fight, I think that the Valade was against the odd one. He needed that distraction, and I think that he would have swapped the match around, but unfortunately for him, it wasn't the case. But it was still very enjoyable to see. Was entertaining. All right, so this is it for this series. So GG to both players, and congratulations to Ram 9.
Yep, congrats to Ram 9 for the win.
All right, so this was it for this week. So next week we're going to have a rematch between Surftaco and Ram 9, but this time it's going to be a best of 3. For those who haven't completed the survey yet, please go fill it out. You'll see that for the fight of the season that is featured, the fight between Surftaco and Ram 9. So it was a pretty exciting one. So I really hope that the next series is going to be as exciting. So yeah, it's going to be a big battle of giants. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, me either. This is going to be super, super exciting.
All right, thank you everyone for sticking with us, watching this video, and I really hope that we're going to see you again next week.
Yep, hope to see you then.